This is my mock IEP introduction video. I will begin now. Bullet point 1 says, an introduction of all parties represented and their roles. So to begin, I would like to introduce the Doe family. Both Jane and James Doe are the parents of John Doe. I, Tanisha Williams, are the special education teacher. The general education teacher is Mrs. Smith. Our LEA representative today is Mrs. Krauser. She is the Dean of Students. The individual to interpret the instructions will be Mrs. Dingy. She is the EDP coordinator. The occupational therapy, also last name Mrs. Williams, will be in attendance. And then the speech language pathologist and speech education teacher is Mrs. McManigal, and she will also be here attending John Doe's IEP meeting. And those are our titles and roles. The reason for this meeting today is an annual IEP meeting. This is a yearly meeting where we go over new goals for John Doe, and we talk about his academic levels, his goals for therapies, and where he's at now. So, and the annual meeting is to assess where he is and to make goals for the future. Normally I begin by allowing the therapist to go first, sharing their examples of work or language, and then they go over previous goals and explain, or they go over the new goals, sharing what the child's progression should be over the next academic school year. Once the therapists have finished discussing their goals and sharing with the parents their materials, that is when I step in and start working my way through the IEP, beginning with the PLAF. So I read them section 1 of the current IEP information. It says, John is a 4th grade student attending Del Rio Elementary School. John's most recent special education reevaluation in April 2020 with eligibilities in the areas of mild intellectual disability, speech language, and speech language impairment. Currently, he is receiving his direct educational instruction in the special education self-contained classroom. He attends his 4th grade classroom daily for social studies, science, and all specials, recesses, and lunch. Daily, John is transported to school by mom in the morning and from school by regular bus. Then I would move on to section 3, and present levels of academic achievement and functional performance. So present levels and cognitive behavior, interventions, social trainings, and academic support. His speech needs, which would have been gone over by the therapist, would share that John presents with a mild repetitive language delay and a moderate expressive language delay. Physical, John appears to have normal physical development as a 4th grade boy. He does have some fine motor issues that are addressed through occupational therapy services. And then oral language and communication. John is able to make his wants and needs known in the school setting. He presents with a mild repetitive language delay and a moderate expressive language delay. John dictates his expressive language impact. John's deficits in expressive language impact his ability to demonstrate what he has learned, put ideas into words in an organized manner, answer questions, explain word meanings, and get others to understand what he is trying to communicate. Social emotional, John is a very friendly young man. He is always up to help others. John seems to do well with highly structured educational settings that uses multi-kinesthetic methods. John does well with small groups and or individual instruction. He seeks affirmation often. He is at sorry. At this point, I would stop and be like conversing with my parents as I hit different bullet points, especially in the social emotional behavior section. I like to pause and make sure that my parents are in agreement with those observations and that what I'm seeing in the classroom, they are also seeing in the home to make this communication more conversational than me just reading, and then, getting bored or tuning me out. So I just wanted to share that piece. To assist him with blurting out answers, he has responded well to getting 3 clothespins at the start of a 15 or 20-minute activity and use them to share. When they're used up, he will need to wait until next session time begins. It seems to help him to be more aware of prioritizing important on-topic information. John has responded appropriately with the sticker system in the classroom. Upon completion of sessions, he receives a sticker. When the sticker chart is full, he can go to the treasure box. So a reward-based system is what's best for him. And I share that with the family and make sure that they also agree that that is an appropriate means of reward. Adaptive behavior does not significantly and adversely impact the progress in the general curriculum. I move forward with the classroom-based data. John's fourth grade teacher shares that John is outgoing, friendly, and is very inquisitive. He is frequently out of his seat to ask for assistance or just to speak to me about something he finds interesting. Pause. So I share here with the parents the information that the teacher, his gen ed teacher who is in attendance at the meeting, has shared. And I also allow for them to add in any comments or notes based off of the information that they've provided me during this process. I also let them have the floor. I read what they gave me, and then I also allow them to, any other commentary they may have. He has a difficult time remaining on task, which makes working in a group of his peers difficult. He really needs one-on-one or small group instruction. His teacher feels he will thrive in extended resource. He attends daily for social studies, science, and all speech specials, recess, and lunch. At this point, I stop and ask the family for their input. The Doe mother and father, I ask them about his current performance in school and any suggestions or things they want to be worked on. I share with them the summary and work habits. John continues to work on attention span and listening on task time to complete activities appropriately. He's very responsive to the computer and is encouraged to work on expanding knowledge and using devices to seek further information and on keyboard skills. John is very sociable and continues to work on development of appropriate social responses and lengths of interactions with others to maintain appropriate communication. At this point, I move forward into Form C, considerations, and I ask them if the child is currently taking any medications. If so, I handwrite those down on this page and fill them in when I am updating the IEP. At that point, I move forward to Form F, and I share with them the least restrictive environment information. So John will have opportunity to participate daily through fourth grade science and all specials. He independently goes to lunch and recess with his peers. John continues to have issues with focus and can be unable to control verbal responses as well as movement. He can be highly distracted and performs better with individuals and or small group instructions. With that information, I let them know that he is in a level C, meaning special education in a self-contained classroom. Consider any potential harmful effects. I share with them that John will miss some grade level instruction and social interactions when out of the classroom and may be embarrassed to receive special help. He continues to need a highly specialized educational program to succeed towards IEP goals. Mastering potential harmful effects are outweighed by benefits of this program. He does not receive any differentiated services. That Del Rio Elementary School is his home school. I move forward into his goals section, and I share with parents all the goals that we have set in place. For John Doe, he has language arts goals, math goals, and social emotional goals as well, which I go over and make sure the parents understand what each goal is set up for. At that point, I move forward to Form E and go over the accommodations that have been selected and the modifications that have been selected for his educational needs. I also share with them how family communications will go via progress reports that will be sent in addition to his report cards every quarter. I also let them know that the annual IEP meeting yearly is another form of communication, as well as parent-teacher conferences that happened every quarter. I share with them the consideration for the extended school year, the consideration for eligibility, eligibility for the extended school year, and then a written explanation as to why the extended school year is or is not needed. For John Doe, the extended school year is not needed. At this point, I would move forward and go over the prior written notice and provide them with a copy. I'm sorry. In the beginning, after introductions were made, I would offer them the procedural safeguards, explain to them what they are, and then ask for them to initial on the signature pages that they have received their procedural safeguards. And I would, at the conclusion of the meeting, provide them with a copy of the prior written notice as well. Throughout our conversation with going through the IEP, when reading off goals, I make sure the parents understand if they have any questions, if they want some clarification on what exactly that goal is measuring and what the child is learning. I go in depth, me and the general education teacher. I also allow for the moments where parent input and communication is needed to make sure that they clearly understand what I'm asking for and make note that of all the things they may list off and share with me, and let them know that this will also be added into the IEP. Like I said previously, I try to make this meeting as informative and communicative as possible, make it more conversational than me just reading off bullet points. And this will conclude my